Rainbow Moon is delightfully old school in its approach to game design. As an RPG, it is literally about grinding, and then heading off to the next location within the game's world to do a little bit more grinding. There are towns to visit and dungeons to delve into, but really most of your time in the game will be spent in the combat. So we thought we'd put together this short video to give you an idea of what the combat looks like. In the footage here you'll see me slaughtering the enemies quite easily, but I should note that that's simply because I've done a lot of grinding, and if your characters are not off the right level when you go into a new area, you're going to get your backside handed to you. Now, as for the combat itself, as you can see, the game takes place in a turn-based tactical grid fashion. Based on characters' individual speeds, they'll take turns to move around the grid and attack their enemies. A fast character is going to get significantly more attacks in than a slower character, and in fact, this is one of those rare cases in an RPG where the speed statistic is equally important, if not more so, than the strength and defense statistics. Each character has his or her own set of special abilities, and each of these abilities also level up based on how often they're used. For a well-rounded party, it's important to level up all these different abilities to take advantage of the different situations that the game will throw at you, so there's a bit of grinding involved there as well. You'll need to grind up your characters' levels, and then you'll need to grind up their special abilities. Now, the enemy AI is not particularly good, and there's a lot of palette swapping, and if the combats were more drawn out, this would become very tedious very quickly. But as you can see, combat plays out pretty quickly, and it becomes very easy to get into a rhythm with Rainbow Moon. A clever feature that the developers have worked into the game is the way that equipment is customized. Taking the loot you acquire from the enemies to a blacksmith allows you to forge better equipment. Because the rarer loot drops yield better equipment, and because you're constantly picking up new equipment that needs to be upgraded, there's a great incentive to keep fighting the same enemies over and over again to try and get the best drops to ensure that you've got the best equipment. Thanks to its simple but entertaining presentation, the fact that there isn't a whole lot more to Rainbow Moon than this combat system doesn't really impact on the quality of the game. In fact, the fact that it is so focused on the combat is very charming and appealing to fans of the old school RPGs. Those of us who remember spending hours to grind up enough experience to take on the next boss in the early Final Fantasy games will get a real kick out of Rainbow Moon. And the fact it is now on the PlayStation Vita is even more appealing. The Vita is perfect for pick up and play games, and Rainbow Moon is best suited for half-hour stints at a time. All up, this is one of the most addictive battle systems that you'll find on the PlayStation Vita, and for that reason it is well worth a look.